Before Atlantis, the whisper of Lamria, long before the legendary Atlantis rose and fell, there was another land, older, more radiant and steeped in mystery, known through whispers across time as Lamria, the lost continent of light. This ancient world is said to have glowed with spiritual brilliance. Some describe it as a vast land stretching across the oceans, inhabited by beings of peace and profound wisdom. But was Lemuria ever real? Or is it a shared memory woven into the fabric of myths from India to Polynesia? In this journey, we'll explore the full legend of Lamria, from its scientific roots to its spiritual reawakening. We'll uncover the stories, the sacred locations, the mysterious beings, and the deep emotional resonance that continues to pull people toward the memory of a world bathed in light. Part 2. A theory of Lamria's scientific origins. Lamria's story begins not in ancient temples, but in the 19th century, with puzzled scientists trying to explain a biological mystery. Similar species of lemurs were discovered in Madagascar and India, but curiously, not in Africa or the Middle East. To solve this, zoologist Philip Sclater proposed a now debunked theory, a lost land bridge that once connected these regions. He called this hypothetical continent Lemuria, named after the lemurs that sparked the idea. Initially, Lamria, or Lemuria, was a scientific hypothesis, a way to explain animal migration across oceans. But what began as biology slowly evolved into something far more profound. In the late 1800s, Helena Blavatsky, founder of Theosophy, brought Lamria into metaphysical teachings. She claimed it wasn't just an ancient land, but the cradle of a spiritually advanced race, the Lamrians, tall, etheric beings who lived in harmony with nature and the cosmos. Other mystics like W. Scott Elliott and Rudolf Steiner expanded the story. Lamria was no longer about animal migration. It became a forgotten paradise, older than Atlantis, where humanity lived in deep spiritual alignment. The civilization of light. So what was Lamria truly like? According to spiritual teachings, it was a lush continent covered in crystalline forests, sacred geometrical temples, and energy lines that pulsed with Earth's frequency. The Lamrians were luminous beings, communicating through telepathy and heart energy, living without hierarchy or conflict. Their society was rooted in cooperation, love, and spiritual growth. Crystals weren't just decorative, they were tools of healing, communication and connection with celestial realms. Lamrians lived in tune with the earth, the stars, and the soul's journey. Lamria versus Atlantis. Two paths of human evolution. Lamria is often mentioned alongside Atlantis, but the two civilizations are portrayed very differently in esoteric traditions. Lamria embodied intuition, spiritual wisdom, and the divine feminine. Atlantis focused on intellect, technology, and the divine masculine. Some say these civilizations coexisted briefly before diverging, Lamria embracing harmony, Atlantis pursuing power. Eventually, imbalance led to both their downfalls. Lamria sinking beneath the waves, and Atlantis collapsing under its own ambition. The legacy lives on, Lamrians beneath Mount Shasta. One of Lamria's most intriguing modern connections is Mount Shasta in Northern California. Many believe it's home to Telos, a hidden city where surviving Lamrians now live in higher dimensional states. Since the 1930s, mystics and seekers have reported encounters with glowing beings, hidden crystal caverns, and ascended masters around Mount Shasta. According to these accounts, the Lamrians didn't perish, they went underground, continuing their mission to guide humanity's spiritual evolution. Echoes around the world, other lost lands. Lamria isn't alone in the global mythos of sunken civilizations. Similar stories exist in cultures worldwide. Mu, an advanced civilization said to have once filled the Pacific. Kumari Kandam, a Tamil legend of a lost continent in the Indian Ocean. Hopi prophecies, stories of past worlds destroyed by imbalance. Hawaii, a spiritual homeland in Polynesian lore. Andean, Tibetan, and Egyptian legends all speak of visitors from lost lands or star-born teachers. Are these just coincidences or shared memories of the same forgotten world? Science versus spirituality. Two perspectives on Lamria. Modern science dismisses Lamria as a flawed theory, replaced by plate tectonics and better migration models. No geological evidence supports the existence of a sunken continent in the Pacific or Indian Oceans. But the metaphysical view sees Lamria not as physical land, but as a higher dimensional realm, vibrating at a frequency beyond ordinary perception. Its remnants live not in fossils, but in dreams, visions, and sacred sites. People feel it through intuition, through energy, through a resonance they can't explain, a myth that feels like memory. Why does Lamria still captivate hearts and imaginations? For many, it feels like more than legend, it feels like home. They dream of crystal cities, gentle beings, and glowing seas. They experience emotional reactions just hearing the name. It speaks to a deep, ancient knowing. Lamria also offers hope, a vision of what humanity could be, united, heart-centered, and spiritually awake. A blueprint for the future. Lamria, may it be true or not that it exists in the way we understand and perceive physical places, its message lives on as a potent blueprint for a better world, one where love is the unifying force, where harmony with nature is taken as much of a sacred priority, and where the spirit of innovation seamlessly coexists with the pursuit of knowledge. Whether you perceive Lamria as a metaphorical or a literal subject, it challenges us to recall something we may have temporarily forgotten or concealed. A golden era of the human soul, and possibly a glimpse into what lies ahead in terms of vision and direction. In essence, the story of Lamria is not merely a tale from the past that is merely anecdotal or inconsequential. It's a spark that kindles within a person's heart. It's a subtle reminder to recall and rekindle our collective memory. It's a tender whisper of light that resides beneath the surface of the waters, as well as within the very essence of each one of us. So, here's to remembering Lamria, embracing its message, and perhaps inspiring the world to go forth and create something truly new, beautiful and kind. Because if there's one thing Lamria reminds us, it's that our journey doesn't begin with the past, but with the present moment.